Hello. Welcome to the Vikings Report, your Minnesota Vikings news channel. Don't waste time. Start by subscribing and leaving that like. Let's go to today's news. Let's go. Kirk Cousins gets some good news and could be headed to a new team. Kirk Cousins' tenure with the Atlanta Falcons may be coming to an end. After leaving the Minnesota Vikings in the 2024 offseason and signing a multi-million-dollar contract with the Falcons, Cousins had a promising start. But the final stretch of the season brought challenges that put his future in question. Now, a move behind the scenes could open a new door for the veteran QB. But before we talk about the future, let's recap the path that led Cousins to this situation. Vikings moved on. Falcons changed their minds. The Vikings opted not to re-sign Cousins following his Achilles injury in 2023, betting on a new path for the franchise. And looking back, the decision made sense. Sam Darnold took over and had a surprising season, leading the team to historic numbers. Meanwhile, Cousins joined the Falcons on a 4-year, $180 million contract. At first, it seemed like a surefire move. He started off strong, completing 69.1% of his passes for 2,328 yards, 17 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions, leading the team to a 6-3 record. But after that, everything went downhill. In his last 5 games as a starter, Cousins has underperformed, throwing just 1 touchdown against 9 interceptions. The result? The Falcons decided to bench him and give rookie Michael Penix Jr. a chance. Now, the franchise needs to make an important decision about the veteran quarterback's future. Falcons could cut or trade Cousins, and Vikings loom as option. With Cousins out of the picture, the Falcons are faced with a financial dilemma. Cutting him with a post-June 1 designation would mean a $65 million hit to the salary cap, a major blow to the franchise. A trade could alleviate that burden, reducing the dead cap to $37.5 million and freeing up $27.5 million in salary cap space. That's where a name familiar to Vikings fans comes in: Rick Spielman. The former Minnesota general manager, who brought Cousins to the Vikings in 2018, now works as a senior advisor. And according to ESPN's Rich Cimini, this could mean a reunion between the two. The scenario in Minnesota is interesting. The Vikings still don't have a long-term quarterback in place. Sam Darnold had a solid season, but does the franchise trust him to lead the team in the years to come? If there are any doubts, a return for Cousins could be considered, especially if he is available at a more affordable price. Cousins could have bounce-back season in 2025. Both Cousins and Aaron Rodgers are coming off serious Achilles injuries. According to Albert Breer of the Monday Morning Quarterback, it's common for older QBs to need more time to regain their playing level after this type of injury. Rodgers failed to show his best in 2024, and the same was true for Cousins. But there's one important detail. Cousins is 5 years younger than Rodgers. This may give it a greater chance of recovery and a more receptive market. The big question now is, would the Vikings be willing to bring Cousins back? Can the Falcons trade him? Or could another team emerge in this dispute? The only certainty is that the soap opera involving Cousins is far from over. Follow everything here at Report Vikings to stay up to date with the latest offseason moves. ESPN surprises and suggests that Byron Murphy Jr. can leave the Vikings. The NFL offseason is approaching, and Minnesota Vikings fans are already starting to think about which players should remain on the team for 2025. One of the names most mentioned for renewal is that of cornerback Byron Murphy Jr., who had a standout season and seemed to be a key piece for the future of the defense. However, an ESPN analysis brought up an unexpected scenario. Murphy Jr. may be leaving Minnesota. What is happening? NFL free agency officially begins in a few weeks, and ESPN's Jeremy Fowler indicated the Vikings could lose their starting cornerback while safety Cameron Bynum is more likely to remain. In high school, the sense here is that Murphy Jr. leaves, but Bynum could stay under a new deal, Fowler wrote. This is surprising, since Murphy Jr. had a significant impact on the Vikings' defense. In his second season with the team, he totaled 6 interceptions and recorded an impressive passer rating allowed of 76.7, numbers that led him to his first Pro Bowl. With that performance, the price of a new contract naturally went up, and that's where things get complicated for the Vikings. Murphy Jr. want to stay, but money can speak louder. Last year, Murphy Jr. made it clear that his intention was to remain in Minnesota for the long term. "I don't think I'm going anywhere. That's my mindset. I want to stay. I love this place. Since I've been here since day one, I've fallen in love. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be here for the rest of my career," Murphy Jr. said in an interview with journalist Darren Wolfson. However, as always happens in the NFL, money can change plans. According to Spotrac, Murphy Jr.'s market value is estimated to be worth $22.1 million per year, a hefty contract for a team that has a lot of financial decisions to make. Sam Darnold's contract could define Murphy Jr.'s future. Sam Darnold's potential renewal could also directly affect Murphy Jr.'s situation. If the Vikings decide to pay somewhere between $35 million and $45 million per year to keep Darnold as their starting QB, the salary cap space to bolster the defense will shrink considerably. In January, Charlie Walters of the Pioneer Press indicated that the Vikings were intent on re-signing both Murphy Jr. as with Bynum. But, with the current scenario, priorities may change, especially if Minnesota needs more financial space to reinforce other areas of the roster. Will the Vikings give up one of their best defenders? Murphy Jr.'s departure, it would be a tough blow for the Vikings defense, especially with the possible retirement of veteran Harrison Smith. Minnesota's secondary needs stability, and losing a high-level player like Murphy Jr. is a big step forward. Could open a big gap in the sector. The question now is, will the Vikings be able to re-sign their top CB, or will he receive an irresistible offer from another team? Byron Murphy Jr.'s future will be one of the main topics of this offseason, and Report Vikings will continue to follow everything closely.